Alright, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. This is BTA, Behind the Arts, and today we got Presha P in the building.
Y'all know what's going on A13 shit.
A13 shit. Okay. I appreciate you coming on, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, how you doing?
I am doing excellent. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
It's my pleasure.
No doubt. So, before anything, where you get the name Presha P from?
Presha P, off top. I was working at Popeyes and the manager, the GM, her son was like, you Pressha, like they'll buy everything like that, you Pressha. And then Pearl is what my name is, so Pearl.
Oh.
Yeah. So when people call me, so when he said Pearl, he was like, okay, Presha P, and I can roll with it like that.
Okay, so where Pearl came from?
Pearl is my first name. I got two first names. So my first name is Junior Pearl, but people just call me Pearl because it's easy.
Okay. What is your ethnic background? Your roots?
I'm half Jamaican from my dad is Jamaican, and then I'm American. My mama said we charity, but you know every sometimes so I'm mad to go too much count on that, and then let my dad tell it his mama had Chinese in her, so I kind of got some bad. I just tell people I was black.
I can see it.
Chinese, no. My sister, she got most squinted out there.
But I
okay, it's probably different.
That's what
Jamaican,
yeah, that's what Jamaican.
Oh, yeah.
But also,
yeah. For real. Me too, I'm spiritual, so I definitely understand that.
That's what you think that. So, who you came up with?
I came up with family, but I always kind of been a black sheep, so as far as that goes, I really came up with my sibling.
Right. I mean, because you give me kind of family vibe.
Yeah, no, I like people. I'm a social person, and I want to have a family oriented. Once I create a family, but as far as me talking to family, on the top of them.
When I heard the song, instantly off top again, I'm like, hold up. And then I'm just listening. I listen anyway.
Yeah.
But it just makes me listen.
Or
It's not just a listen. It's the power. You feel it. You feel it tugging at you. Now, who can influence your style? Got a unique style.
I would say, because I don't listen to rap like that, so I would say listen to people who do poetry or spoken word. People, I grew up with old school R&B music, so a lot of times, old soul. Yeah, old soul. I listen to anything old school, and then I didn't get that from a family, no family do music in my family, nothing like that. It's just simply me. I always loved music. I love how people could tell a story, you could relate to it, you could pick apart it.
That's why I feel like it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's natural talent.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an automatic thing that switches just on.
Yeah, that's why I say if it's a passion, when you have a passion for something, it's different than just for something. This is my passion, this is something you got to do.
Alright, so how did you find your passion?
I found my passion through COVID. Basically, all the trauma I went through, I needed something to help me cope. I needed something to help me tell a story or tell how I was feeling, because a lot of times telling your emotions, especially in my family and a lot of black families, emotions is something that's sheltered. If you don't pay bills, if you ain't outside, you shouldn't be stressed about that if you're a child. But a lot of people don't realize even children got feelings. You got emotions, especially when you're being told something or you being around a certain environment, you got nothing but emotions. You got nothing but stuff to stress about. So for me, it was definitely just a coping mechanism. It became my passion because I fell in love with it as my coping. I'm writing, I'm doing poetry, I'm doing something that's in the artistic realm.
And it's real, I can tell that you been through some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've been through some shit, but I can tell you was sober, where did that come from?
the soldier in me, it came really from like, I guess when you get tired of your environment, like I knew I was never supposed to be a toxic person. Like I was just toxic because of my environment. So when you stuck in a toxic environment and you know truly you're a kind-hearted person, you're a good-hearted person, you begin to be like, hold on, I gotta move out of this. But when you're doing it alone,
Right.
you really gotta stay disciplined and be like, I gotta get up out of this. And it's like being a soldier, not only like doing hard stuff, but being able to like cry and dry your tears. That's why I like dry tears when my
Right.
it's so, cause at the end of the day, we all go cry, but as long as you can dry your tears and get back up, everybody is a soldier in my eyes.
You know, I like poetry, and I grew up writing poetry.
Definitely. Yeah.
They learned a lot from writing poetry. Yeah, that's what I get, you know, when I listen to your music though. Like, I hear poetry.
Definitely.
You know, but at the same time, I hear bars too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay.
It's not rap.
Yeah, it's not. I consider myself a arithmetical lyricist. I
Repeat
take
that
that
again.
arithmetical lyricist because my rhymes continue and my lyrics will make you want to rhyme me out this. Like one thing about me is I don't want to put myself in a category because I don't want to say I'm only going to be rapping poetically and then I put out some other stuff that's fine. So I don't want to put myself in a box, but the image that I give off is basically telling my story. I just want people to be able to relate to me, whether that's in a sad way, a happy way. It's just more like if I'm going to tell my story or I'm going to say anything, I'm going to make sure it's my truth. Like it's not just this image I'm trying to portray, it's my truth. If I get on another beat like on some hip hop, I get on a lot of boom bap beats. I could body on a boom bap beat, but a lot of people say it's easy, but it's not that easy. It's not just rhyming. You got to be able to have the wordplay too in it. It's a lot of different things you could play with there.
You gotta have what they don't have nowadays,
Yeah.
which is meaning.
Yeah.
You gotta have some
Substance.
substance.
Definitely substance. Yeah.
There's nothing on the plate.
Yeah.
They putting the empty plates.
Yeah.
If I had to say there was anybody that resembled, you know, just a little bit, I would say Rich Johnson.
See, I'm not too familiar with Rich Johnson. I done heard people say Biggie. Some people done said E. So I'm not too familiar with Rich Johnson.
The reason why I said that is because of the way I can hear that it's a natural thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a planned thing. You slip in and out of the poetry and the rhyme.
Yeah, definitely.
I had to listen again.
Definitely.
I was like, hold up. I know I wasn't tripping. And then I listened again.
And that's mainly because most of my raps start off as poems and I just fit it into that. And then, so if I done wrote something probably without a beat, I'm going to look for a beat that match with the poem. Or if I wrote it with a beat already in mind, I'm taking a poem and just adding it on the beat. I was having a conversation, I told somebody like, you definitely, it's a lot of like, the same people. Like you, an artist come out, you sound the same. Like we hear the two most songs, you sound the same. Like you sound like another artist we already done heard. So I feel like with me, I'm definitely gonna kick my flavor with old school, bring back that arithmetical, lyricalist flow.
And that is another thing that people don't do.
Yeah.
They don't take themselves serious.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like I said, I'm an energy person. You know, and this is our first time meeting.
Yeah.
But before, you know, that we started, I got that.
Yeah.
So, now, I mean, I don't know how they, you know, they used to say never ask on the first age or whatever. But I got the ask because you've seen beyond your years.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so how old are you?
I'm 18.
What?
Yeah.
Y'all hear that? It's a grown woman right here, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's kind of mind-boggling. If you listen to, you know, like I said, I've only heard 2 songs.
Yeah.
You know, 2 songs.
Yeah.
You know, and of course I did my little homework, you know what I mean, on your social medias and stuff. So I hear that, I see that, you know, and here at BTA, it's all about behind the artist. So the people can get to know you. Okay. 18. But I mean, so like that.
Yeah. Definitely.
I gotta say, like, what was like your upbringing? You know, what was that like?
So my upbringing was basically, I kind of been like I felt like the black sheep since I was like 9 years old. So around 9 years old was even earlier than that, but most memorable is around 9 years old, just always writing my emotions. At that time, I was mentally.
You got siblings?
Yeah, I got siblings. I got 8, 9 siblings, 8 siblings, I believe.
Where you at?
8 siblings. I'm the second and youngest.
Second, yeah. So I knew.
I'm the second youngest, yeah, definitely. But you'll think I'm the oldest because that's how they act. But. What you would call it? Yeah, so around all of those, even then I still felt like a black sheep because we never kind of related.
All in the same house?
Yeah, all in the same house. Like we grew up in a 2-bedroom.
Right.
2-bedroom. It was 7 of us, but 8 of us in one room. 2 bunk beds.
Right.
My parents in the other room, they got their room, stuff like that. Regular apartment at the time, like broke down. I wouldn't say the projects. I would say that I ain't growing up in the projects, but ghetto.
Right.
Like kids outside in the neighborhood.
Right.
But growing up like that, it definitely not only isolated because you want your own space, but you can't get that or growing up, poor, it's always those constellations. But most importantly for me is like we lack a family dynamic. Like we indulge a lot in toxicity. And whether it was joking through it or actually being toxic with each other, it was so toxic between us because
it's a lot of
emotions, a lot of different. So it's a lot of different things we all in one space.
Mom and dad?
Mom and dad was there. Yeah, they was married, but even with that, it was like, a toxic situation. So you can only feed off of, if you're not shown healthy love, you only can feed off of toxic love.
Right. Coming up, the way you are, how does that make you feel about, the one inside? You know what I mean?
Coming up and repeat your question.
Like listening to the music that all the women in.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, how does that make you feel as a woman trying to get in this space?
I feel like it doesn't deter me at all because at the end of the day, everybody has their own thing they want to do. I feel like if you want to talk about your body or whatever it may be to make your money, that's what you got to do. I don't judge nobody on how they live their life. Me personally, I'm just not on that way. But who knows, I might get older and be like, okay, well, I know I'm copying something, so, but I don't think, but you never know. So I definitely don't want to say that.
You are from Florida.
And I knew that even then and now, I knew that's not the love I wanted to receive, or that's not what I wanted to be surrounded by. So, I ended up around 15, 16, we went like homeless. We had to go live in hotels and stuff like that. And I was like, I definitely can't do this. Like, I gotta get up out of here. I had to go. So I hit up an apartment complex and I was like, hey, because I was just gonna take me and my other 2 siblings who's around the same. We all a year apart each. So I really go to the apartment, just pay rent. So I was like, I hit up one of these college dorms. I'm like, hey, can
You was working?
Oh, I was working. I dropped out of school when I was 15. Mm-hmm. So because I had to start working, like even when I was working in the household, money going towards you, but I was like, I'm trying to get me a guy. I'm trying to make it, but school was definitely at 15. School was definitely out of the question. My parents, they stopped financially providing for me around 13. If I'm being real with you, like I would get nipped ends of the bus. It was a lot of different things, situations going in the house, a lot of different colorism, homophobia in the house. There's a lot of different things like that. Yeah, like
it is a lot.
And I'm bisexual, so I had to deal with that a lot. Not being gay, going here about that. Like with going through that, it's like I definitely want to get out and get my own space. So when we was in those hotels, it was like I'm gonna hit up this complex, the college dorms. I hit them up, like we want to move in. They was like, you can't move in.
How did you know how to do it?
Because my brother, he at the time was like, I want to say 19 or 20.
It's wrong, folks.
It's the wrong folks thing. But look, I always had a way with my words.
It's wrong, folks that don't know that.
Yeah.
Now, if you knew that
At 17.
Nah, you do that before 17.
Yeah, before 17, definitely.
If you was working and able to do all that at 15,
yeah.
You know, that's a natural thing. Like you've been there before.
And that's why I tell people a lot of times, age, I'm gonna say this loosely and lightly, age doesn't matter to an extent when it comes to mentality. Because age is essentially time. A lot of time, how long you've been here.
They say it's not even real. I'm just saying.
And people always receive me in a good way.
Right.
So even when I text the lady, I was like, look, I work. I'm 16, but I work. You know, I'm on my P's and Q's. And at that time, I had a car. I had brought me a car and stuff like that. So I ended up. She was like, yeah, we can get you. And I ended up signing with the lady Elise, and she like, you know, we played with the age limit. We made it happen, but I couldn't take my siblings with me, which I'm glad I couldn't, but come to find out, but I couldn't take my siblings with me because only one person to a room. So at that time it was like $1,065 for that room, but I was gonna pay it because I had to get gone. Definitely, but. And I say that loosely too because even being in the environment I was in, my mentality was already, I'm not in this environment. I don't know, I'm a Taurus, so I don't know if it's a Taurus, bougie side of me, but I can't read her, no, I gotta get
you know, you chose to tap in,
definitely,
you know, at a young age.
Yeah.
But I understand though, you know, because you had a lot of examples, you know, close to the end, so you seeing everything that everybody else doing and how they messing up. You know, I'm the youngest too. My sister older. You know, you see everything that the older siblings do.
And it's like I don't even
want to do that. Not for me. You know, but like you can hear that. I mean, you can see that. You know, in the physical as well. You know, without if somebody's conscious or whatever, you know, when they see you. They should feel all of that. Because when I heard the music, I felt all of that. Definitely.
I
felt all of that.
So at that time, you know, moved into that apartment. I stayed there till I was 17, and I was working with this company under the 10-way again, making the most money possible. But one thing about making money,
true hustle, man.
Definitely. One thing about like making money under the 10-way and not always the right way, you want to have to so long. When you fall. And it happened to me, like at 17, like when I fell, like I went homeless, I was bouncing from place to place. People who I thought was friends wasn't really friends and stuff like that. So I really had to find that I experienced sexual assault during that time with a person I leashed from, thought I could trust. It was a lot of different things. Friends who was like, yeah, I can help you, but then once they help you, it's like, oh no. So I always got loan from people fast. Like as soon as I feel like I'm interrupting your space, I gotta go fast because the type of person I was, I'm a workaholic. So at the time, I'm always at work. So it's not really too much you could pick and point.
I'm not in your space though.
You get what I'm saying? But a lot of people, it's just you learn that people don't always have your best interest in heart. And I knew my goal was to always do music, so I couldn't. It was a lot of things like
you've been here before. But a lot of people don't get it until they're older. So it's a blessing times 10 that you got it so young. Because you're gonna go far. Everybody need to know she was around here first. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one who told everybody that you was the shit. You know what I mean? Because I definitely salute you on your grind, man. I salute your music. You know, it's inspiration. No BS. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this is real. You know, this isn't something just made up. You know, like you do poetry and you know what
rhythmical lyrics.
Yes, but it's not like you sitting there like you. I'm gonna say this.
No, definitely.
I'm gonna say that. You know,
definitely not. Everything I say is literally experience. Like experience. Whether I wordplay it and it sound like something is not, but it's still an experience. Like everything connects to everything. All my music is gonna tell my story because I know there's millions of people who relate to me. And hearing it from a woman's perspective, I feel is different because a lot of times females rap in a way where it's like, I'm getting this money, like it's forget the world, and I'm not like that at all. I'm an empathetic person, and I love people, and I love being happy, and I love everybody. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Just need you as a person.
Yeah.
You know, the world don't love you.
I'm prepared.
I could tell, you know what I'm saying? You stay ready, film ready, you know what I mean? And you just go on with the flow, man. That's more than amazing, man. But what we gonna do? We gonna let you go ahead and drop this exclusive.
Okay.
On here first.
Definitely. Y'all speak it on here first. Exclusive before it come out.
Exactly. Gonna let you drop the exclusive, and then, you know, we're gonna wrap it up. You know, but it was definitely a pleasure.
A pleasure being on BTA.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You know, this is the first.
Y'all check out behind the scenes, behind the action.
Exactly. Behind the action.
Behind
the artist. Behind the artistry. You know, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? But everybody, give a round of applause for Presha P, aka Presha Pack. You know what I'm saying? Dubby dub and that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta put that on the market, and y'all be looking for it, man.
Yeah.
I wanna do it if you can. I feel like running again. Presha P shit. 813 shit. I'm captivated. Blessed the day I finally make it. That green grass house that's gated. Forehead kisses out the ball. Pop power, hot palpitation. God greatest gift. We got tricked into money philosophies. I love myself still trying to shake that shit off of me. I know now the grass won't green on the other side. You lose yourself, swallow your pride. Everything you did it for, you watch slowly die. Cause that money only bring power I can't respect. Cause you worship demons, it seem like you can't shake it off. It bring glitz and glam, look at the cost. Your greatest love become your greatest loss, that's the cost. So I'm starting to cherish moments that I'm present in. Learn new things I could better in. Be a better lady when they carry a baby, have a man that treat her like his lady. Be around the people loving first, won't leave you to star. Who at the back to say problems out the ball? Power giving no title, generosity, swallow your pride. On the brink of death days ago, take your breaths, I made it, bro. Still alone, no longer lonely. Phone call, reach the dial tone, no longer phone me. You ain't get the message, no longer know me. Money don't change character, personality be fake. Substance is equivalent to A1 on the state. In other words, I'm gon' touch money. A lot of things at stake. Everyone eat, just not off my plate. Everyone rich, just not off my estate. I escape the shackles that I put myself in. Overly loving, overly care. Nobody gave a fuck. I'm shooting